Hey, hi, hello guys, welcome back to Code with Nani channel. So today we're gonna discuss the lead code problem of the day, which is an easy one. So find missing and repeated values. So you are given a 2D integer matrix grid of size n cross n. So with values ranging from 1 to n square. Just note it guys. So the values are ranging from 1 to n square. Each integer appears exactly once except a, which appears twice, and b, which is missing. So the task is to find the repeating and missing numbers a and b. Okay. Return a zero index array ans of size 2 where answer of 0 equals to a, which means this is the repeated value which has been repeated twice. And answer 1 equals to b, which is the missing value. So yeah. So you are given a grid which is basically a matrix of size n cross n. So here we are given 1 3 2 2, and the values are ranging from 1 to n square. In this case, n is 2, so values are ranging from 1 to 4. Okay, so we need to return the values of a and b, where a is the repeated value and b is the missing value. Suppose we have 1, we have 2, we have 3. What is the missing value? 4. So missing value b is equal to 4. And what is the a? A value is the repeated value. Here 2 is repeating twice, so that will be our answer. So we need to return a vector or array or any pair or something. Need to return a comma b, which is 2 comma 4 in this case. So that's the answer. Suppose if you take another example, 917 892 346. So this is 3 cross 3, which means the values will be ranging from 1 to 3 square, which is 9. Okay. So we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4. We don't have 5. So missing value B is 5. We have 6, we have 7, we have 8, we have 9 as well. So what is the repeating element? We have 9 that is being repeated. We have 9 that is being repeated twice. So A is 9. So we need to return the answer 9 comma 5, which is the repeated ones with the missing missing ones. Okay, so how do we approach this solution? So my intuition to solve this problem is just iterate through all the elements, which means iterate to the 2D matrix, 0 to that grid size, and j equal to 0 to j less than n, and just maintain a vector, just maintain a visitor array from ranging from 1 to n square, or you can say 0 to n square plus 1th element. So after you visiting every element in that, mark that element. So visited of grid of ij plus plus, which means every time you visit a particular element, we are marking that element 1. So if in the question they said every element appears exactly once, so which means in that case every element that has been visited will be changed in its status into a 1. Suppose this is right. So in the initialization everything has been initialized with 0 every time that element has been repeated. Suppose if the value is 3, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So if the value is 3, we are changing its status to 1, which means 3 has been visited once. Okay, and if the value is 2, then we are marking visited of 2 to the status 1, which means that 2 has been visited. Suppose if there be any case for that particular element, suppose 6 has been marked as 2, like we are adding plus plus, which means if that particular element has been repeated twice, in that case the status of the value of the particular index 6 has been become 2, which means it been repeated 2. So if So we'll mark the status of the visitor array like this, and in the next iteration, just from 1 to I less than or equal to n square I plus plus. In that scenario, what we are doing? Suppose if visited of I is equal to 2, which means we found a repeated element. In that case, we just store that value in the I. Why are storing index? Here the index represent the value of that particular element, which means like here index 2, which means 2 has been repeated once. Okay, that's why you're storing the index. Suppose here 6 has a value 2, which means in the grade 6 has been repeated twice. So that's how we are maintaining the visitor array. Okay, if visitor order of equal to 0, which means that has never been found in that particular grade. In that case, just put that in the array. In the end, just use return a comma b, which means here what is a? It is a repeated element. What is b? It is the uh, not been in the grade value. So let's just jump into the code. You'll get clear picture about the solution. So this is the code that have been written. So what is the range? So as they mentioned earlier, so the range values of the particular numbers in the grid will be from 1 to n square. So what is n? N is a grid size. So what I'm doing is I'm just maintaining a range grid size into grid size, and we are also maintaining a n value, which is grid dot size. So I'm just maintaining a visitor array from range plus 1. So why range plus 1? Because if you see the values are ranging from 1 to n square, right? So if you are including 0 to n square, we need a range plus 1, right? Because generally the vectors or arrays are started from zero base index, so we need to include 0 as well. So n square plus 1, so that's why range plus 1, and we are initializing it to 0. And we what we are doing is we are just iterating through the all the indexes in the grid of 2D two-dimensional vector. We are just marking that particular element in the grid of ij represent the element in that grid value, and we are making that index value as for this visitor array. So what we're doing is for that visited particular index, whether it is been visited or not, we are just making a mark of that status. So visited of grid of ij plus plus, which means like if grid value appears once, then visitor array status will be incremented to 1. If it appears and again, then the visitor array value incremented to 2, which means that that is the element which has appeared twice. So initially we are marking a and b as -1 and just iterating from 1 to visitor of size, which means we are iterating from 1 to n square. If there be any case visitor of I greater than 1, which means that we found an element which has been repeated twice. Greater than 1 means technically it's 2. So we found an element that has been repeated twice. In that case, we're just marking that element a equal to I. We're just storing that element into I. If in any case visited of a particular index has been set as 0, which means that particular element has never been repeated. So just putting into a b equal to I, storing in the b. In the end, just returning a comma b. You can even do this way, or you can just initialize the vector of size 2 and just push vector of 0 as a and vector of 1 as b, and just return that vector. But I generally prefer this type of solution because we don't have a number of indexes in the particular array. We only have 2 elements, so just can be able to return a comma b in the form of a vector. So let's just run the code and just submit the code. Voila, it's submitted. And the time complexity for the as we see as we see as we see the maximum value of n is 50, and our solution takes of n square. Why n square? Because we are iterating to the every possible value in the grid, which means n cross n, which is n square solution. And technically speaking, of 50 square, which is around 2500 something, which is order of 10 power 4. So which doesn't give you tally. So if you cross more than 10 power 8, then it gives you tally. So yeah, our n square solution definitely works. And the space complexity is of n, because we are taking a visitor array of size 1 to n square. Yeah, it is n square because we're taking from 1 to n square, right? So even the space complexity is as n square. And let's see, let's just submit the code. Voila, it's submitted. And that's it for today video, guys. So if you like my explanation, do like the video and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so you never miss any notification from my channel. And if you have any queries regarding my explanation or any queries regarding my code, do put it in the comment section and I will reply you out, guys. And that's it for today video, guys. Tata, bye bye, see you tomorrow.